Good morning, everybody. It's my pleasure to add my welcome to you here to the conference centre for this event. And I would like to start by thanking the organisers of today's seminar, the Welfare Reform Board, for the work that's gone into arranging this. As you know, the Welfare Reform Board was established over 2 years ago and is chaired by Pete Leonard, who I just saw Pete arriving. He's our Director of Communities, Housing and Infrastructure at Aberdeen City Council. But it has obviously involved a whole range of partners, as you know, many of you as I see here today, representatives from Grampian Health Board, the Department of Work and Pensions, ACVO, the Food Bank Partnership Aberdeen, Grampian Housing Association and Aberdeen City Council. And it's working together that the board manages the changes being introduced through welfare reform and addresses the impact of these changes, the impact that they're having on members of our community, and looks just to see how services need to respond. The title of today's seminar, as you can see, Feeding Aberdeen, reflects the recent report from the all-party parliamentary inquiry into hunger in the UK, which highlighted the rapid growth of emergency food provision right across the country in response to a growing number of people right across our country struggling to get by and at times going without food. Now, Aberdeen is a major success story. By many different measures, a major economic success, and still is, despite the current backdrop of the lower oil price and all the consequences of that. And we need to celebrate that success, the prosperity that comes with being a global energy hub. That is a good thing. But, and I imagine every single one of you here in this room know that there is a but. We have to acknowledge that we're also living in difficult times for a great many people. Too many people. And in this city, perhaps more than any other, we see the stark contrast between the haves and the have-nots. And the support that many of your organisations provide, and as individuals and through your organisations, is invaluable to making our city a more equal place in which to live. And I would thank all of you for that and the work you do in this regard. But in Aberdeen, we still have one of the largest gaps between rich and poor in the UK. And it's a great disappointment, a worry, some would say a scandal, that in such an economically vibrant, growing city that we've seen the growth of food banks to the extent that we have seen. So today's seminar is about looking at how, across all sectors, the public, private, voluntary, the community, that we discuss this situation and start to identify more solutions and preventative measures to make sure that food banks, as a response to hunger, do not become part of the system. As you can see, we've got a very good lineup of speakers to do this. They're going to help set the scene, and before we get into the discussion groups, which I hope will allow more time for to explore the issue in more detail. Issues such as CSR, the role of the private sector, what needs to change in public policy, how we can work even more in partnership, and what our communities themselves can do to respond to food aid. I'm looking forward to hearing the speakers and indeed all the views in the room and hearing the outcome from today's deliberations. Tackling hunger and poverty is an extremely serious issue which will not be solved easily. That's a very, very obvious thing to say, but we've got to try, and we've got to try harder. And we must work collaboratively to address the problem. Everybody here has a role to play, and it will be through partnership working that we'll be able to better respond to those in immediate need, and in the longer term develop solutions that prevent or at least minimise the number of people who need to rely on food banks. There is, as I say, some serious work to do. Thank you very much. Thank you.